who doesn't want to add some sparkle into their lives, right? We all do. So it said that reading is a way to escape your own life. It can take you to faraway lands, put you into other people's shoes. It can make you more empathetic, but it can also inspire you. So you don't want to miss this conversation today with Dr. Christine Sauer, because she can help you put the sparkle back into your life. So don't go away. We'll be right back. If you're joining us, welcome to the Writers' Corner live show. We've been going live for over 3.5 years. I'm in Cape Town in South Africa, so it'd be great to know where you are joining us from. This live is brought to you by Be Live Media, Creative Edge, and StreamYard. A special warm welcome, whether you are joining us over on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and also over on Amazon Live. Do know that we are monitoring the comments in real time. I've got my phone right here, so if you're watching us over on Amazon Live, your comments are monitored in real time and on all the other platforms where you are joining us as well. So please, we love to meet new people on the show, and we'd be more than happy to give you a shout out to welcome you to the Writers' Corner live show. And today we're going to be talking to Dr. Christine Sauer, and she's going to be helping you see how you can put the sparkle back in your life, because we know, life happens to all of us. Sometimes we just need a little bit of help. On the show, we are also all about helping you level up, because as authors today, most people are still having to work remotely. A lot of our authors, we find, aren't able to go into libraries yet, and so book releases are still being done virtually. A lot of book promotions are done virtually, and so some of the things that you can do to level up on your live streams when you are promoting your books, for example, is the Logitech Brio camera, which both I use, and also my amazing co-host, Mary Elizabeth Jackson. She also uses the Logitech Brio camera. It's got right light and HDR technology, which is trademarked, which means that it can adjust to your lighting conditions, so you don't have to worry too much or fuss too much about your lighting. For audio, I use the Samsung USB condenser microphone. It's got a solid die-cast construction, as you can see here, so it reduces noise vibrations, but not everybody wants to use a big microphone like that. You can also use something as small as the Rode lavalier microphone, which works great. It's a high-quality lapel microphone. But these are all ways in which you can level up your live stream. And I know a lot of authors go live just using their phone, and that's fantastic because the phone cameras are amazing as well. But you don't want to hold your phone in your hand because it makes people have the feeling of getting seasick. And so what we recommend is some sort of stabilizer that you can use, put your phone into, such as the DJ Osmo, which is a 3-axis smartphone gimbal, which will help you stabilize, or you can also use something such as the iographer. They fit different phone sizes and shapes. So those are just some things that we recommend to help you level up on your live stream. I'm going to bring up my amazing co-host before we introduce Dr. Christine Sauer to the show. She is Mary Elizabeth Jackson, a special needs and disabilities advocate. She's also a ghostwriter and an award-winning author in her own right. Do feel free to check out her very latest release called Cheers from Heaven, along with Thornton Klein. So let me say amazing hello to Mary Elizabeth Jackson. Mary, welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning, good evening for you, because we are global. So we're in different areas, time zones, all that fun stuff, right? Even climates this time, well, all year. So, but yeah, thanks for the beautiful, warm welcome. It is so nice to see you today. I'm super excited about being here. And our author today is somebody we both personally know and just love. And her energy is fantastic, and she's very inspirational in her own right, with her own life story and the work that she's doing. So we're excited to have her here and share her with others, aren't we?
Absolutely. So for those of you who have not yet met Dr. Christine Sauer, she's a retired German-trained and board-certified physician and naturopath. She currently works as a holistic brain and mental health professional, a coach, educator, and consultant. Now, something's very different about Dr. Christine Sauer, and that is that she refers to herself as the doctor who knows how you feel. And the reason for that, and she can expand on her story, it's because she truly has walked her talk. If you are suffering from mental health or physical health issues, she spent time in a mental hospital herself, and we're going to ask her to share her story very briefly. So she really, really knows what you're talking about and the struggles. And that's why I think her Sparkle series is going to be so inspirational, because she really knows how to add that sparkle to life. So without any further ado, let's give a warm welcome to our amazing guest, Dr. Christine Sauer.
Hi, Christine.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Bridget. It's such an honor to be on the same show as you two accomplished ladies.
Thank you. We are honored to have you here. You're just, we're all in a book together, a collaborative book. And so that's how Bridgetti and I got to meet you. And you're just such an inspiration. And I love every time I get to talk to you. You always have so much wonderful information to share and to inspire others with. And, that's really the passion of your heart, is to inspire others to be their best. And I think, especially for those of us who've kind of walked through that tar in life and the depths of the caverns and the abyss of the ocean, your compassion level for others is so different than if you've never been through anything. You just can't relate. And so, as loving human beings, we don't want other people to suffer. So it's intended for us to share our stories to inspire others, isn't it?
It is very fascinating. And I must say, yes, I went through the hell myself. And actually, when you join the Sparkle Sisters, you just have to point your camera to the QR code or go to that sparklesisters.org. It's all free. You get an email series where I reveal to you a lot about my story that you may be able to relate to. Because the gist is, yes, I have been in a mental hospital. Yes, I have been in a QT room that looks like a jail cell. But I came out the other end, a better person, a stronger woman, and a true Sparkle sister. And my mission has never been stronger than before, to help others overcome depression, anxiety, mental health disorders. I help families with their children because it's more and more prevalent. It's really bad. And I see that conventional medicine is often at its wit's end. And in my recent TED Talk that's just coming up in February, Tedx, I called it Bridging the Gap, How to Treat Depression Naturally. I'm actually talking about how, in my opinion, the future of healthcare could be to bridge that gap between the suffering individual and the highly trained specialist.
Mm.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Could you give us just without going into too much detail, can you just give us a brief overview of your story?
Absolutely. I was born and raised in Germany, and in a very good family. My father was a physicist, my mother a chemist, and I was set up for success, at least not mentally, but by knowledge. So I studied to become a physician, always wanted to become a physician. Thankfully that my parents approved of that. So I became a physician, a naturopath, married my first husband, that I didn't realize was really an abusive person, two-faced, very excellent physician. I learned a ton from him, being a physician, a family doctor, dermatologist, allergist in Germany. But it was also an abusive marriage where I ended up feeling like a doormat, because he was dominating, he abused our two children, and I let it happen. So there was a lot of guilt involved for me letting it happen. And in the end, it ended up very interesting, because my back gave out. I couldn't walk no more. I ended up in the hospital. And eventually I fell into a deep depression and couldn't work no more. And my ex, I call him ex, he already had decided that we wanted to immigrate to Canada. And shortly before we were slanted to go and I couldn't work, I was depressed, he decided to commit suicide. So, wow, I was sitting there, depressed myself, in chronic pain, with two teenage sons, a widow, by suicide, and immigration papers to Canada. That wasn't easy, I tell you that.
Wow, that's that's a lot to have to deal with. That's really heavy. And for anyone out there who is going through, like Christine said, the hell of life, you are a living testament that you could go through all of that and be here and sparkle like you do, because you definitely sparkle. But that sometimes there are things that we look at and think there is no way you could get through that, or you feel that way about your life. There's no way you're going to come out the other side. And the human spirit is absolutely incredible. The human body, the human brain is just, and we've really just scratched the surface of those things, haven't we? Brain is your specialty. So we really have only scratched the surface, haven't we?
Yeah, a little bit, tiny bit scratching.
Yeah.
But I mean, eventually I did come to Halifax. And of course it made it worse, because I was in a new environment, didn't know nobody. So I decided to end my life. And that's how I ended up in a Halifax mental hospital. And to be honest, I learned the most in the mental hospital and in the 6-week group psychotherapy program that the Canadian healthcare system was generous enough to give me. And I learned a lot from my fellow inmates in the mental hospital. Yes, the doors were locked. And from talking with people. And I suddenly realized I'm nobody special. I'm just a regular human being. I have a certain kind of knowledge and education that not everybody has. But I'm just a regular human, like all of us. And that's when I started to really change. And at first I spiraled down. For the next 10 years, I struggled, because medication and psychotherapy helped me to exist, but not to thrive.
That's
And
so interesting. Yeah.
And
That
that's
is
what I
very
call now the gap, because many people fall in that gap and they exist. But they
Yes,
don't
pain.
really thrive in life. They are not able to live a passionate, purposeful, productive life anymore. And
So
we
how did
can
you
change it. Sorry.
so how did you then come up with the Sparkle series, coming from your background and where you've been through? What inspired the Sparkle series?
That is another very interesting story, how I got into the Sparkle series. Actually, it's 2 series that I'm writing currently, because after reinventing my own life and learning everything that there was to learn, I decided it was time for me to give back. I was a person that was meant to help other women struggling like that to find their sparkle and get the spring back in their step. So I invented the Sparkle Sisters, which my best friend Maxine came on with the name. You can see her with me on the sparklesisters.org website, talking about what it really is. And together we are writing a series of books, of course, journals, My Daily Sparkle of Gratitude. The next one will be The Goal Achievement. And then a series of non-fiction fiction books. One will be Becoming Sparkling Susie, the story of a very depressed, sad lady, how she transforms herself to Sparkling Susie. And that's what I will talking and performing in Toronto on stage. That will be fascinating. It will be on video. I can't wait to do that with a human prop.
Wow.
Right. And so that'll be your story that you're going to be sharing.
It will be my story, but also that of my client. I try to generalize it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it is more applicable to many women. And that's what I'm writing about in the Sparkle Sisters. And there will be helpful books that are related to the program I'm offering. But the books, of course, will be much cheaper. Like the first book is Foods that help you to sparkle in the Recover Your Sparkle series. And things like that. It's just awesome. I'm so inspired by all the ladies that helped me to develop that. And it was a lady who's a marketing strategist that helps me to actually put it all in action and in place. Oh my God, we women are so powerful. And if somebody's watching it and they are in a bad spot, we women are powerful, and together we are stronger.
Absolutely. And we don't realize, we have women in general have been demoralized all throughout history, as the second in the back, and not, be seen, not heard, and all those things. And we're the ones who, if it's your choice or you're able to have babies, we that power of birthing a human, for a woman's body to just be able to do that is very, very powerful in and of itself. To nurture and love another human being, whether it's your child or someone else, or even if you're a caregiver or a child down the street, or a neighbor next door, an aunt and uncle, or whatever, the power of compassion and sympathy and empathy and feeling and nurturing is, it is in and of itself. And I'm so grateful to be able to have that ability. And it's sometimes I look at the dynamic of a mother and father in a family, or that masculine female energy, whatever form that comes in, and the role that it plays in a child's life, because it teaches them both sides of what they need to learn and what they need to understand about the world, and communicating with others and responding to situations, and all of that is really powerful, isn't it?
It's absolutely powerful. And Mary, I had the pleasure to speak with you on another occasion about what you do. And I absolutely admire you for the advocacy and the work you do for children, special children especially, but all children are special in some way, and they are all the same. And the books you write are so special. I can't believe it.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that so much. It's a passion of mine, to empower kids. Watching a child struggle because they were born with an inability or a challenge, and watching them struggle with that, but then seeing them overcome those things. That's what I'm talking about, the human spirit. It just changes the way you look at life, actually witnessing someone overcoming something. It is amazing, even just watching, the first steps of a child when they couldn't do it. And then, because we all had to learn to do that ourselves, to go from the sitting to crawling to standing to walking. It is so powerful, isn't it?
It's very powerful. And I deal with the people that have grown up, and some of them achieved the transition, and others still beat themselves up because they tell themselves when they're trying to walk, "You idiot, you'll never learn to walk." And you would never say that to a child, because they would never learn to walk.
Yeah.
So
we've got to learn to be kind to ourselves, and I think that's a lot about what your book is about. Is being kind to ourselves and learning to sparkle again. Tell us a little bit about the cover of your book. How did you come up with the design for your Daily Sparkle book?
I actually used the designer that I very cherish. I wrote books before that she did the cover page. They did the cover page, and it's 100 covers. I can recommend them, I think. And I told them I want a sparkling background, like a night sky, because we all are inspired when we look at night at the sky and maybe we see a shooting star. There it is. And of course, for many people, the sun has not risen yet. So a sunrise was the right thing to have in the image. And the designers made that wonderful background image that I absolutely love. I love it so much. It's on all my websites related to the Sparkle Sisters.
It's beautiful
Absolutely
though.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And it's nice to when we're being creative and we're coming up with something. It's so I love seeing that come to fruition for someone, and those metaphors coming forward. And then it's not everybody gets it when they look at it to see the depth of all that you're trying to tell there. And so it's nice for you to be able to share with us exactly what all of that means, because it's important. And the sun right now, what you're doing is so needed for all of us. Anything we can put back into the world that's positive it's so needed right now. I'm so glad that this has come to you to do. And, there's no one better to deliver it than you. And the energy of what you represent and how you deliver and how you are able to communicate with others and just that connection. All of it, we're very lucky to have you be able to do this. And we will definitely share this with women and, direct them, because it's great to sparkle and shine. And all of us need to turn our light up right now. It's been a little dim for a couple of years, hasn't it?
Christine, did you write this book with any specific woman in mind? Like, are you targeting a specific woman with a specific need?
Well, I'm really writing it for women that are in middle age mostly, that may or may not be working or staying home and have teenage kids, and that somehow their sparkle is already gone out, because children by nature, they sparkle, and then education and society annihilates their sparkle, and we let it happen, and that's a shame. And I'm trying to help those women where the sparkle either is gone or is just flickering a little bit, to start with a daily sparkle. And what better as gratitude? And I tell them, every moment that we have right now is like a little sparkle, and it's up to you to make it a daily sparkle, and not to let it go by wasted by worrying about the future, or just being angry and feeling guilty about the past. And that we can all do. We can take this little moment that we have right now and let it sparkle. And for me, the sparkle is right now. It's in the air. I can feel it. I can sense it, even though it's on video. The whole world is sparkling.
It's easy, isn't it, to feel stuck in the past? I think that's where a lot of us do come unstuck, is that we get stuck in the past. We get stuck at feeling angry, and we don't know how to move forward from that anger phase. So is that something that you talk about in the book?
Yes, I will talk about, not in this book, but in future books and in the program, of course, because my stance is anger can be a very helpful emotion and give you the energy to move forward. So much that I actually have a saying, get mad, not sad. Because when we direct the anger against ourselves, it's destructive. When we direct it to the outside as aggression or passive aggressive behavior, it is destructive. But if we can transform it, and I'll show my clients how to do that, into positive energy, that's when the sparkle lights up. That's when the aha moments and insights go up. Because I tell, and I say that in the TED Talk too, sorry, I came back. I really took a long time crafting that 10-minute talk. When we don't learn by gaining knowledge, we don't grow by gaining knowledge. We gain by own insights and a series of aha moments, and then taking targeted action from there.
Absolutely. Yes. And, we get caught up in those repetitive conversations, don't we, in our mind, and we have arguments with whoever we're angry about, like Bridgetti's saying, we get stuck there and we have those arguments. Sometimes you have them out loud, right? When nobody's there, the person's not even there, right? The person may have passed away, or maybe it's, your spouse or your somebody in the family. And we have to catch ourselves and stop ourselves from doing that and own what we're doing in that moment, that we're keeping that anger going. We're holding on to it. We're being stubborn in a way about not letting it go or facing it and doing something positive with it. And so once we can catch ourselves and become aware of that, then we absolutely can be able to remedy that or work through it. And part of it's because we all want to be heard. Every single human on this planet wants to be heard with whatever they're feeling or going through. And so some of that anger is just those wounds that you've never felt heard.
One of my favorite book of all times is Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, and he describes how in the end, the old Siddhartha sits at the river, and the river does something I won't tell here. You need to read that book. It's a really good book. The river does something, and he has an insight, and he goes back to his old friend Govinda, and together, by listening, he's kind of a coach. His wounds are healed, his wounds from the past. He can let go. And I see my work as a coach, not so much to teach people anything and not to just sit there and listen. Listening is important, but I ask questions. And I sometimes interrupt people, to disrupt ingrained thought patterns and make space for new and often healthier ones. And that's when the change happens. And a good, effective coach is really good at doing that. And it's not just me. There's many of us that can do that.
That's true. It's just asking, knowing how to ask the right questions so that you can bring out the best in a person. That's a true gift. Not everyone has that ability. And so there are coaches and there are coaches. And I think what makes you special is because you've lived through the experiences. You've been on the other side. You know how hard it is. Not all doctors and not all coaches have that hindsight to be able to open up people on a level that you can with your past experiences. How can people reach out to you, Christine?
Well, the easiest way is go to the sparklesisters.org website. Subscribe, it's all free. Just enter your name and email, and you'll get emails from me. Reply to any of these emails, and I will not only send you a free PDF copy of the Daily Sparkle of Gratitude, but you have to write me a personal email to get it. It's not in the email automations. Have to have a little bit contact. And I also invite you, if you want to, you'll get the link to book a free session with me. So you can meet me in online person, and we can talk about what it would mean to work with me and if that's something you're interested in. But even just joining the Sparkle Sisters for free, we have bi-weekly Sparkle Sisters sharing sessions or 4S meetings. I'm a sucker for simplicity and abbreviations. And every 2 weeks, we'll meet and just share, laugh, cry together. And I'll just moderate the whole session to provide a safe and supportive atmosphere so nobody's allowed to bully anybody else. So there will be some rules, but nothing over the top. I want to make sure that nobody gets pushed over the edge. And if I'm available after each call if needed.
That's good. What is a takeaway from today, like a gold nugget or a sparkle that you can send people off with today?
Well, really, I said it for years, and it's true. It's never too late to start changing your life, and it's never too late to live your best life. Never, ever. You may be 80, 84, 85, 90. If you still have another day, and most of us hopefully do, you can change your life and make a positive difference for yourself, for others, and the world at large. And that's what creates the sparkles.
Very nice.
I think that's an awesome sparkle for us to to say thank you to everyone for joining us today on the show. You were watching the show with Christine Sauer, and she was talking about her series on sparkling and learning to find your sparkle if you've lost it along your journey of life. And that all happens to us at some point or the other. So thank you very much, Dr. Christine. It's great having you on our show
Thank you.
today. And thank you to our amazing audience, whether you've watched us on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and also over on Amazon Live. It was wonderful having you join us today. So we'll see you back on the next episode of the Writer's Corner live show.